Vice President fell asleep or not, but I must admit I thought I was invited by the White House to be on the front row to hear the president unveil a plan to win the future for the nation, and instead all I heard was a speech designed for the president to win re-election. It was highly disappointing. Frankly, I don't think it even qualifies as a plan. It's a speech. It was full of class warfare rhetoric, and there was a moment to be seized here, Neil, and clearly the president is AWOL. He is absent without leadership, and it's frankly very disappointing.
All right. I'm just wondering on a personal level, Congressman, whether it's so bad between you guys, Democrats and Republicans, you just don't like each other. I mean, it's just visceral. It's that bad.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, Neil. Listen, I've served with a number of Democrats who I disagree with, but I know they're patriotic. They're committed to their set of principles. There's a number of Democrats I can work with. I don't sense, though, that the Democrat in the White House, at least today, is one of them.
Yeah, but he's the guy you have to work with for the next couple of years, right? And I've heard, here's what concerns me. I've heard from Republicans and Democrats who say, well, the appetite is such that there's no appetite for taking on this big stuff before the presidential election. I'm thinking to myself, at $4 billion in added debt costs today, this ain't happening, and we're just digging in deeper.
Well, I don't know, Neil. All I know is if we can't have somebody to legislate with, I remember what Margaret Thatcher once said, first go out and win the debate and then win the vote. I mean, we'll continue to try to work. The president was late to this game in the first place. Again, it was a very disappointing speech, but at some point you got to quit spending money you don't have. At some point you got to quit borrowing 42 cents on the dollar, much of it from the Chinese, and send the bill to our children and grandchildren. It's one of the reasons that job creation and job creators is sitting on the sidelines. It's because of this fear and anxiety of how this debt ultimately will end, because historic levels of debt lead to historic levels of taxation, which lead to historic levels of unemployment, and that's the situation we find ourselves in.
Well, you do appreciate the enormity of what's going on. I just wish more did. Congressman, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil.
All right, so when I get into it with a congresswoman who I think just doesn't get it, it gets worse. But I'm just telling you, we're going to hell in a handbasket, and that's the reality.
I think you're already there.
You want it faster? Faster it is. The all-new, easier than ever Scottraider streaming quote.